So today I'm actually referring back to a conversation that I just had recently with somebody, and their main complaint was that they had major surgery due to diverticulitis, diverticulosis, and they had a large section of their intestine removed, like a lot of it. And so kind of going into the conversation, she was having some issues with inability to lose weight and hormones and all those things that are my expertise. And so the topics that kind of came up and the questions that I asked her, I was so surprised that like no other healthcare professional had brought any of this up to her before or suggested any of it or had any conversation around this. So that's why I decided to make today's video, because I know that she is not alone in this. And I know that maybe you watching have dealt with diverticulitis, diverticulosis. Maybe you have a loved one or a friend, a family member who is dealing with this that you can share this video with, because I'm going to talk a little bit about and some things that you can do and should consider if you do have diverticulosis. So that's what we're going to get into today. So what is diverticulitis, diverticulosis, right? If you don't know what it is, because maybe you have it and you just don't know, right? So it's actually inflammation or infection in the pouches, these little pouches that line your intestine. So sometimes these can get packed with fecal matter or foods, and they just sit there and they irritate and they inflame. And then these little pouches become filled up, they get infected, they just start to get inflamed, they get angry, right? And our body doesn't react right. It can cause a lot of pain, a lot of discomfort, can cause diarrhea, can cause people to become septic, have bowel blockages. It can go on and on if left unchecked. And sometimes the symptoms will get so severe that it will be necessary for you to have surgery. So to have parts of your intestine and your colon removed, depending on where this inflammation is at. And I've taken care of, I don't know how many patients in the hospital who have colostomy bags from extensive bowel resections, from extensive surgeries due to this inflammation, due to these blockages, due to infections of their bowel because of this. So it's nothing to mess around with. It's very serious, and a lot of people deal with this. And so it can start off as abdominal pain and cramping and diarrhea, and you need to have some further testing done, some colonoscopies and some other things to really identify and pinpoint if this is the problem for you. So we kind of got into the conversation as I was talking to her. You know, she's an active intermittent faster. She intermittent fasts already, which was awesome. And so I wanted to talk about how intermittent fasting is beneficial for people who have diverticulitis or suffering from this. Because what's great about it and how you have to think about it is that the normal diet and the normal pattern of eating, right, is we're always snacking, we're always eating. Well, then that means that your digestive system is always working. It's like working on overtime all the time. That's not a great environment for an area that is already inflamed and infected. We want that area to relax, to start to heal. Well, what's the best way to do that? Through intermittent fasting. It provides those periods of rest and relaxation for your digestive system so it can heal. And this is particularly useful if you are dealing with diverticulitis, if you have a history of it, if you're currently dealing with it. Intermittent fasting is great for that, because in traditional healthcare, what they're going to tell you to do is to, or if you were to come into the hospital and be admitted, what are we going to do? We're going to make you NPO. We're not going to let you eat or drink because your bowel, we call bowel, but that just means your intestine. We're just referring to your intestinal tract, needs to rest. It needs to heal. It doesn't need to be working. It don't need to be squeezing and pumping and doing all the things and digesting. It needs to relax. So we'll put people NPO. So what can you do if you're at home and you're just wanting to prevent this or dealing with this on your own? You do the same thing. Intermittent fast is the best way to deal with this on your own at home. And so we want you to intermittent fast so that you can relax and let things heal, promote healing by doing that. However, this diverticulitis, and if it's progressed enough where you have had these surgeries, and this is why I always tell people, and when I'm doing my intake forms and assessing people, I always ask anyway, have you had any surgeries on any part of your digestive system? Do you have all your pieces and parts? Do you got your gallbladder? Do you got your pancreas? Are all the parts of your intestines still there, of your stomach, of your esophagus? Like, I ask all those questions because I know that if there is any disruption in this pattern of your digestive, in your digestive tract, if there's any disruption because of a surgery or trauma or anything, I know that your body is not going to be able to digest and metabolize food or supplements or any drugs, anything that you put down there. It's not going to be able to, because the system is broken somehow. It's not how it was. It's not intact. So this is what happens with diverticulitis and in people who have had parts of their small bowel or their colon resected, taken out. Because of this, they're at risk for malabsorption and malnutrition. So how do we identify this? Well, micronutrient testing. And this is where it was kind of a big aha for this woman that I was speaking with, because nobody had ever suggested to her, hey, you need to get some micronutrient testing. She's had plenty of lab work done. She's had plenty of food and allergy testing, which was great, but she's never had micronutrient testing done. So why do we want to do micronutrient testing? Well, because what I just explained, there is an issue with you're at risk for malnutrition and malabsorption of micronutrients, of all those little sparks. I like to call the micronutrients are the sparks behind all the chemical reactions in your body. And that's why I love doing micronutrient testing as part of my lab work that I run on my clients, is because that gives us a better picture of your nutritional profile, of your health overall. And so we can see where your levels are at. And so we're looking at all the vitamins, minerals, electrolytes, antioxidants, fatty acids, hormones. We're looking at all those inflammatory markers. We're looking at all of those and trying to get what needs to be at an optimal level for you. And I've made videos about this, about lab work, and about how traditional healthcare interprets lab results. We do a terrible job, healthcare overall does a terrible job of interpreting lab results, because we're just going by like high, low, normal, abnormal. And how we get those lab results is we're just basing it on the population that is around us. And is the overall population very healthy? No. So we're taking all these lab results and comparing you to very unhealthy people. So the bar is set pretty low overall. We want to get you to that next level. We want to elevate all of those. So that's why we do this micronutrient testing, and we look to get you to optimal levels of things that you need. And particularly with this colon resection or small bowel resection, parts missing, we need calcium, we need vitamin D, we need vitamin K, we need potassium, we need magnesium. Like, we need to make sure that those are all at optimal levels so that all those little sparks are firing in our body. Because if they're not, then most likely people are suffering from kind of mysterious symptoms and they're just not feeling good and they can't pinpoint why. And again, why? This kind of leads into my next thing about the IV hydration and why this is wonderful and why this was an aha moment for her as well, is that, you know, when you're taking oral supplements, and again, why I ask if everybody has their pieces and parts when they come to work with me, because you could be popping all these supplements and drinking all these things and doing all this stuff, but if you're missing any of those parts, again, if that digestive tract is not intact how it's supposed to be, then you're never going to be able to metabolize or break down any of these supplements that you're taking. And a lot of the claims on the supplements that they're 100% bioavailable and that they're available to you on a cellular level and la la la. No, because your body still has to digest them. Your body still has to break them down. So if there's any disruption in the digestive tract, even if there's an overgrowth flora, if your gut biome is messed up, that's going to impact how you metabolize and break down the things in your supplements and your foods and all of that. So to say that those things are going to be 100% bioavailable and be available on a cellular level and hit you immediately, no, they're not. The only true way to do that is to bypass the digestive system altogether. And how do you do that? Through IV hydration. That way you can get your vitamins, minerals, electrolytes, all the things that you need directly into your bloodstream. So it's just like it sounds. If you've never heard of IV hydration, it is going to get an IV. We put a needle in here and we connect it to a special formulation that we mix. And if you're a client of mine's, we look at your micronutrient micronutrient profile. We look at your results to see where you're deficient, where you need a little bump in, and we customize an infusion based on that for you, because no two people are the same. Everybody is unique. Everybody has different needs. And even your micronutrient needs change with the season, with stress, with illness, with toxicity, with age. It changes with all of that. So having a good baseline and then retesting as needed, like I was telling her, 6 months. I like to test every 6 months to get a good, to see where we're going and if what we're doing is working, right? Every 6 months is pretty standard, okay? But we want to be looking at that. And the IV hydration is great because we can just give you exactly what you need, and you're getting all those extra fluids, and it's going directly into your bloodstream, bypassing the digestive tract, allowing you to rest and heal, to really amplify that intermittent fasting that you're doing, which is so great, which is what we're going to tell you to do when you come to the hospital anyways. We're going to be like, NPO, don't eat, nothing, don't drink, give your digestive tract a break. Intermittent fasting is a great way to practice that on your own. And then you can elevate, amplify it by doing and adding the IV hydration therapy with that, filling in all those gaps, filling in all those little sparks so that everything kind of fires off really nicely for you, and everything starts humming and moving a lot better for you. And then you start seeing those results. You start feeling more energy. You start sleeping better. You start digesting the food that you're eating better. Your body's metabolizing it better. Your metabolism in general improves. The effects are just compounding. I can't even stress it enough. So if you are somebody who has diverticulitis or any type of digestive issues like that, really consider this and look into it. The micronutrient testing, the IV hydration. It's very powerful. It's a very powerful tool to really elevate your health to that next level. Not just, accepting the abnormal, normal, high, low. We're moving past that. We're elevating things. And this is a really great way to elevate your health and really get things humming and going in a positive direction for yourself. Okay. And it works nicely with the diverticulitis, the intermittent fasting, the micronutrient testing, guys. Is pretty amazing. It is pretty amazing. So I hope this video has been helpful for you. I just wanted to bring this up because it was a conversation that I just had. And I know if she has this issue, that there are other women out there that have this issue as well. And there is no need for you to suffer and be popping this and popping that and trying a little of this and trying a little of that and wasting your time, getting sick, having to go to have surgeries, getting admitted for flare-ups. We can avoid all of that. And I'd love to help you do that. So if this is something that you're dealing with, don't be afraid. Reach out, ask me some questions. If you want to develop that customized, tailored plan for yourself to really elevate your health and get the IV hydration and the micronutrient testing and do all the things that will really promote your wellness instead of things that just maintain your illness, which is what traditional healthcare is all about, then you know who to call. Reach out to me, schedule an appointment with me to talk more with you. And like I always say, for a balanced life, just add spice. I'll see you